This is the Crazy Over 40s Live podcast, where every Thursday you will have a pirouette of rotating co-hosts, including myself, Caroline Brown, that will delve into topics relating to the over 40s. Throw away this notion that you're going through a midlife crisis. We're going for a crazy over 40s life. It's the time to uncover and rebirth our adolescent years filled with curiosity and all our desires. We do it right here on the Crazy Over 40s Live podcast. We look into relationships, emotional, sexual, financial wellness, entrepreneurships, providing you with an enjoyable delivery every Thursday. And don't forget to share and subscribe so you can keep updated on all the episodes as and when they become available. I hope you enjoy this episode. In your over 40s, you may start thinking, oh my goodness, how did I get here? I can't believe this is me. I felt that way, and at times it creeps up and I think, oh my God, yes, I still feel this way and I'm in denial of it. But we all get here for many reasons, that over 40s and single, through a loss of a divorce or a bereavement. Nevertheless, they're all attachments, and some of these attachments can leave us with a invisible barrier to finding love. The frustration, the rejection, the heartache from finding a new partner can be the very thing that can stop us from making that sincere connection. And Macy Matarazzo, who is a dating and love and relationship expert for singles, who has accumulated over a decade of experience in helping women over 40 dissolve the emotional barriers to love and attract a mutually successful, kind and uplifting partner. She says with ease. She shall be joining us after the interlude. I'm your host, Caroline Brown. And don't forget to share and subscribe so you can keep updated on all the episodes as and when they become available. And don't forget to leave a review. We shall be joined by Macy after the interlude. Listeners, as promised, I have Macy Matarazzo here, and she is here to tell us all about love. How to attract love in our over 40s. Are some of you out there? Well, listen in. Here she is. Hello, Macy.
Hi. So glad to be here.
Hello. Oh, it's lovely. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I did give you a little bit of an introduction before the interlude. So give us a little bit more about you.
I am a creative, intuitive, forever seeker woman who has been on this journey for a while. And one of the things that has been my biggest triumph in my life is really getting to the source, the transformation of being able to receive a healthy relationship in my life. And it took me a really long time. So that's why I love talking about or talking to the over 40 community, because I know that dating and relationship stuff is different later in life. And that's something that I feel like I cracked the code and transformed my own life and started sharing it with others. And everyone I shared what I learned with found love too. So this is something I'm really passionate about. And who doesn't want to create more love on the planet?
Well, I'm looking for it too. Can I ask you a question? Have you found love in your over 40s?
Yes, I did.
So it's possible. You know,
Absolutely. And I've helped a lot of people. I've worked with thousands of women over the past 10 years, and it is possible. If you have the desire, it absolutely is meant for you.
right, if you have the desire. So let's go into that. I mean, there are many women right now who are in the over 40s and men too, who are wondering, how on earth did I get here? How do I get to be in my over 40s and not be in a relationship. Is there anything wrong with not being in a relationship? But perhaps this podcast is not for you, this episode in particular. We're talking
Right.
about those who want to attract love. But let's get to that part. Why do you think people end up here if they believe in love?
Well, I think the biggest reason is because we don't learn how to do relationship. We don't learn how to create a love relationship. We're all starting from zero and winging it along the way and basically collecting tips and strategies unconsciously just by watching our parents and other people, and it becomes a real challenge because more often than not, we are finding more things wrong with ourselves than right. And if we've had relationships before our midlife time, then if they didn't work out, it can be really easy to come to the conclusion that maybe there is something wrong with you, or that um, you're not lovable, or there's all sorts of things that can creep in that aren't true for anyone, but
Mm.
it does take learning, and it takes skills actually. So that's why my whole career is around educating people and helping people transform from the inside out so that they see how they can receive the love that's meant for them and not just create the same toxic patterns over and over again.
I totally believe in everything that you said, but still, I believe people do have barriers.
Yeah.
We just can't help it, can we? We just carry it along with us. Tell
Well,
us
it's
about
how the
that.
body works. So it's not a problem. It's knowing that when we've put up barriers or walls or protections, it's part of how our nervous system functions. So that's the way it will automatically work. If you've been hurt before in a relationship, or if the inner critics have taken over, then your body naturally wants to keep you safe. And sometimes that means staying single, not letting people in, not risking that. So unconsciously, we may be doing that even if our head is saying, oh, yeah, I'd really like a relationship. So we just need to be aware of that, be gentle with ourselves, and find ways of coming back to ourselves so that we can cultivate that safety and security within. And when you have that, then you can connect with people and know that you're going to be okay.
Going to be okay, because you do talk about going from protection to connection, and
Yes.
explain a little bit more about that.
Yeah, it's just natural for our body, like I said, to um in times of stress or fear, and sometimes that happened early in life. And in fact, our relationship beliefs are formed very early in our life. So,
Okay.
what we believe about what we can have or not have, or what, if you're a woman looking for a man, or what you've decided men are or aren't based on what you've seen, and whatever kind of relationship you want, there's a lot of things that have been formed about that from this child brain. So, it takes actually, coming from a conscious, mindful space, and bringing some practices and awareness to ourselves as grown-ups, and making new choices so that we can change our mindset about this and nurture ourselves in ways so that we know and we can trust ourselves. Because otherwise, if we're just going by default from our child brain, then it's going to be really hard. And one of the tools that I use with my clients is called regenerating images in memory. And the reason why I like this is because it actually accesses that unconscious, subconscious place. So most people aren't aware. They're just saying, wow, I keep attracting unavailable people, or I don't know why this keeps happening. Well, it's because there's something within you that is believing that. So it's not a reason to beat yourself up. It's not a reason to blame, but using this process when I'm facilitating it with clients means that we can bring that stuff from hiding up into the conscious space where then we can make new choices and new decisions so that we're not functioning on autopilot that is these ways of and keeping people away to keep you safe when you're actually probably able, I mean, everyone's able to develop these skills that can support ourselves and really be empowered in our choices.
Mhm. Empowered in our choices. And that brings me on to talking more about your ex, resisting someone who reminds you of your ex. Yeah, you talked about us being drawn to something that we've experienced before and we're not aware of it at times, that we're actually doing that. And a lot of that can do with, you know, baggage. And I hesitate to use that word, use it loosely. But is there any harm in embracing that? Because some of the, you know, are good things. For instance, I'll give you an example. So if you're out there dating and there's someone who um, doesn't remind you of your ex, but something different to what you thought. Say there's something that made you feel, oh no, this is not what I like. Say for instance that this person take care of his mum or parent, or he's a carer, he's caring for someone, and you think, oh god, that's a bit too much responsibility, you know, it sounds like he doesn't have enough time, or she doesn't have enough time. But in fact, it could be reframed into saying that perhaps maybe that's a sign of someone who has a lot of caring qualities about him or her.
Yeah, I mean, it really is case by case basis where you have to look at, okay, well, what have I decided about this? What is this person actually showing me? What works for me? I mean, if the person is truly not available and you're wanting to have time with someone or have time to connect and deepen a relationship, then yeah, that may not work for you. But it doesn't take away, you know, what you may be aware of about that person as
Right.
being caring.
Hmm.
So it is looking at every situation, and it's really looking at yourself and saying, okay, if I keep attracting this certain quality or this kind of person, what is the benefit to me?
Mm.
So if someone tends to attract people who aren't committing to relationship or not fully available or maybe even live hundreds of miles away, then is that actually more comfortable for you in this moment? So then you can start inquiring and say, okay, well, what what is it that I'm afraid of, or what what would it take? Sometimes you can't
What's it
really
take?
answer these questions. You have
Right.
to just ask, what will it take for me to be attracting people who are available? What will it take for me to be more available to receive love? And it is worth doing the inner work or getting support, because relationship stuff isn't something you can heal in a vacuum. You may be lucky and meet someone who is aware enough and connected enough to you that they really want to help you get through some of these barriers, but more likely not. So it's doing some of the work that with a professional so that you can melt
Mhm.
away some of these barriers so that you can have intimacy with someone and feel safe doing it.
Mm. Yeah, you have to feel safe doing it, and I think as we mature and we become, I feel we sense and we feel that there's too much vulnerabilities around us, and are we really in a place where we can share our affection with someone else? And also, perhaps that in itself can cause a barrier as well.
Mhm. Yeah, it's
Mm,
when we forget that we are actually the source of our life. So if we can for everyone who's listening right now, just being aware of these words as I speak them that you are the source of your life. You are the most powerful being in your universe. So no matter what people or experiences come your way, are you willing to acknowledge right now that you have survived everything up until now? Like you are a powerful being. So, anywhere in your body or in your being where you have concluded that you can't handle it, or you can't do it, or you're not good enough, or you're whatever, or you're going to get hurt, you can make the choice to destroy and uncreate that so that you can come back to you. And that's everything.
that's everything. You know, one of the things I wanted to ask you is that how do you how do you make that first step? Obviously, come to someone like yourself. Tell us about your program that you offer, because I know that you offer quite a lot, and why you've broken, the programs up or selected certain programs, and why do you think it may be fitting for certain people looking for love or attracting the right kind of love? And you can tell us what that actually right kind of love looks like or should feel like.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I do have a lot of different things that I offer, and it changes all the time. So usually I just say, if someone's really interested in working one on one with me, let's have a conversation because then I can guide them to the appropriate plan. And it is, let's talk about what this creates, like having love coaching, what that creates when it comes to my universe of what I call the super love system. So, what does it mean to be in a super loved relationship? This is a relationship where you feel special, where you feel seen, you feel heard, you feel this mutual support. You you're with someone who responds, so you're not guessing if they're gonna show up for the date on Friday night, or you're not waiting and waiting and waiting for this person to text you back when you're following up on a plan. Like, you can pretty much rely and count on this person to be responsive, and you're connected in ways that, are deeper than a regular kind of friendship or acquaintance. It's something where you have shared values and shared dreams. And I like to say that the people who are inspired to come to me are ones who have sensed that there is something greater, but it just hasn't revealed itself before. And maybe it has, and maybe that person passed away and it feels almost impossible to find another person. Whatever it is, there is this level of what I call unicorn love, because it's the kind of love you never thought could exist, but it does. So it's really empowering yourself in the place of creation. And a lot of what I use are consciousness tools and neuroscience and working with these spiritual practices to create your life.
Mhm. I mean, you do go into, I mean, part of audience, when you do go on to Macy's website, you will say that you do have a love vibe quiz, don't you? A love
Yes.
vibe quiz. Yes. I find that very interesting. And it kind
Mm.
of, for me, for the over 40s, you know, in relationships, if we've had a long marriage or a loss of a partner through death, there is a loss of a significant person that has, you know, no longer in your life, whether it's through a loss through a divorce or loss through bereavement. And you have this quiz there, and I think it's so fundamental in kind of finding exactly where you are actually at and how you can actually meet yourself as well as the other person can meet you where you are in your journey in finding love.
Yes, exactly. I mean, what I love most about the quiz is what you get when you take the quiz. So when you're actually answering the questions, you get to have a little self-reflection on, "Oh, wow. Yeah, I have done that," or "I am aware of that," or "You know what? I never thought of that. I've never considered that aspect." And so you once you're complete with the quiz, really the experience of it is the result, but then I do send some tips based on what score you get, and it is an invitation to have a conversation with me too if that's what you have come to be inspired to do.
Mm. Yeah, and one thing I forgot to ask you, I don't know if I mentioned it before, is how do you go about finding or attracting a partner? I mean, over 40, some of us don't believe in internet dating. Do you think that's the way to go? Do you think it's socialization, getting out there a bit more? What would you suggest?
Well, what I try to suggest is to be open. Be open to all of the tools and possibilities. Like if you didn't have to judge something as bad or wrong or, only what, you know, losers would do, like, that's what I used to think. I used to think, like, online dating, "Oh, well, if I have to do that, I must be a total loser." Well, I met my husband on online dating, and I'm so
Did you?
grateful for that, and 99% of my clients end up meeting people online. So, I'm not here to change people's minds about online, but in some ways, I just invite you to consider what else is possible because we are living in a new time. So I know it was easy for me, especially for us over 40, over 50, over 60, over 70 who may be listening to this, that, our parents, none of our parents did that. None of our parents did that. Maybe later in life they did. I don't know, but it would be a rare percentage of our parents who found love in that way. So it's easy to make it wrong because they supposedly found love quote unquote organically, which I really hate that word. But that's not true. What's organic now is everything is a lot of things are on technology. I mean, we're doing this podcast in a way that we wouldn't have done it 10 years ago. 10 years ago,
Very
15 years
true.
ago, we would have been in a studio.
Yeah.
So why not celebrate the the breadth and the width of opportunity that is available? And it really comes down to how you feel about yourself, your confidence and your safety and security within as to how you feel navigating that scene. Because if you have a lot of unfinished business or you're feeling resentful or low self esteem, then online dating, internet dating is going to be quite painful because most people are not for you. Most. A lot most and a lot of people go out there and go, "Oh my gosh, is this all I can attract?" And it's like, "Okay, well, no, this is your person is special. They're specifically different than most people. So that's why they're your person." So, there's a lot to it, but primarily I would say, what if you could have all the tools in your toolbox for connecting with people and not judge one as wrong or bad, and learn how to navigate it in a playful, fun way that doesn't have to be what you may have made it out to be in your head.
So definitely, you believe in attraction then, don't you? You believe in law of attraction is where what you give out, or what the energy that you have around you is what you bring in. Do you believe in that?
I do believe in that. I mean, I don't necessarily say I'm teaching law of attraction, but just notice your life. Like when things are really going well and you're feeling like things are fun and wonderful, just notice how many more amazing things show up. I mean, every time I found myself giddy in love, even before I met my husband and was in the early stages of relationship, it was interesting how many more people then were interested in me. And that's
Right,
happened more than once. So,
right.
how many times have you been really blissful in your life because of whatever that's kind of shifted your filter and your mindset in that moment, and then other magical things happen. So really it
Very
is
true.
noticing.
Yeah, I totally believe that. Definitely. And for those who are out there, don't lose heart of, trying to find someone. Macy's done it.
Right,
It's
exactly. And I thought I was the weirdest. I mean, I am weird. Let's just admit it. You're not seeing me on this podcast, but I'm kind of an eccentric kind of weirdo, but that had led me for a while to believe, "Oh my gosh, no one's gonna love me. No, this is just I'm too weird for love." Like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna have to tone it all down or give up who I am." And so, wherever you are, I know a lot of people, even lawyers and doctors and people in corporate settings, can still feel like weirdos, because I was in corporate too, and I was sort of hiding away in a cubicle going, "Oh my gosh, I'm so different." And so just know that if you have the desire, so this is the most important thing. If you have the desire, then you have everything within you to receive that. It's just a matter of getting out of your own way and trusting and
interesting.
not doubting anymore, because for some reason we've learned as people to have like these desires and these like passions and these like draws to things, and then our mind comes in and goes, "Well, here's all the reasons why you can't have that or do that." And then we believe it.
Mhm.
Then we believe our mind about that. No, no, stop it. Stop. Like the desire is your destiny. So there's nothing in between that. So just know that, follow that, and whatever you need to support you in that direction, choose it.
Choose it. Oh, thank you so much, Macy. Any last words you would like to share with my audience, and also give us a little bit of a rundown of what they can expect from going on your courses?
Yes. So um I'll start with that part. If you are drawn to this, I would just say if this is lighting up in you, I would say just reach out to me. You can go to getsuperloved.com and check out the programs, but contact me personally if you want to. There's a couple different places where you can apply for coaching, and then we'll have a conversation. It's not a pushy thing, it's just looking at where you are and what might be a good next step for you. Um, that's the journey itself is really about you. So it's not a cookie cutter plan where, you're going to be forced to go on so many dates a week or anything like that. This is a personal transformation into the relationship with you and your life. And saying that, I'll leave you with my favorite sort of mantra that I use with my clients and in Super Loved, and it is, how you love your life is your love life. How
Mm,
you love your life is your love life. So this isn't separate from everything else. How you love your life is your love life. Start
mm,
there.
mm. It's all connected. It's all connected. Thank you so much, Macy, for coming on the Crazy Over 40s Live podcast.
Thank you. It's such a great community. I'm so grateful for this.
For your enthusiasm, let's take that enthusiasm and let's inject it into the love and relationship marathon. In the next episode, we shall be joined by Chaka Shum, who's the CEO and head trainer of the Walk and Talk program. He's here to tell us what men think about love and dating from their perspective. Join the Crazy Over 40 Live podcast and don't forget to share and subscribe so you can keep updated on all the episodes as and when they become available. And I'm your host, Caroline Brown.